Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have the new Tier VIII Premium British battleship cruiser import today, the Nottingham, to review. The Nottingham is a bit of an interesting ship. I actually forgot that this thing was coming out sometime soon. This is kind of like a shrunken Nelson, obviously from the looks of it. It's something, all right. This thing's pretty kooky looking. Interesting ship here for sure. This is currently available, the Nottingham, in two ways. You can buy it in an Admiral bundle for 96 US dollars, or for 570 Nottingham tokens in the current event in the Armory. Now, before we get going any further, I of course have to thank the channel's Patreons. I'm not a CC, nor supported by or affiliated with Wargaming in any way, shape, or form, so I do not get these ships for free to review. Everything that is reviewed here on the channel is done so with either Patreon funds or the ad revenue from YouTube. So these generous Patreons make this review and all subsequent ship reviews possible. If you want to support the channel, Patreon is the best place to do so by, of course, besides, of course, just watching the videos, streams, and etc. Alright, so the Nottingham. What's really funny about the Nottingham is that if you do take a look at its description in the premium shop / armory, and I did get from the bundles because it was slightly cheaper that way. If you look at the features of the ship, small HP pull, weak armor, low damage per minute with the guns, torpedoes, large torpedo count per salvo, and you can single and drop the torpedoes. A defense, little damage, short firing range, but low detectability. So already it's a lot of negatives on the Nottingham. Oh man! All right, so So this is a treaty cruiser, of course, given the unusual layout. They deal with this layout, the all guns and forward superstructure. It's kind of a cheat to get through the Washington Naval Treaty because it limited ships by a certain tonnage. So if you shove all the guns in one compressed area, you can armor this area as thickly as you would need to armor the ship, because there's all the magazines and the munitions handling areas would be at. So obviously this part of the ship needs to be heavily armored. If you have like the Duke of York over here, if you have guns in the fore and the aft, you got to armor all this in between. But with the Nottingham and like the Nelson, you ain't got to worry about that because it's just all right here. All right. So that's what's up with the turret layout, if you're wondering about that. So we're going to go ahead and look at the Nottingham, look at her stats and features. Then we'll take her into battle and give you guys impressions of the Nottingham and a score at the end. So let's go ahead and check her out. So starting with the economic bonuses, of course this is a premium ship. This does come with the usual Tier VIII Premium economic bonus, 5% to credits, 50% to your various XPs. And this is her armor, yay. Art department, giving us an actual camouflage here. Usually, like in the past couple of premium ships that have been released, it's just been like gray, black, dark gray, So I like she actually has, camo. So that is very wonderful. Good job, art department. And now let's take a look at her armor. Wowzas, okay. 25mm bow. That's actually not terrible for a Tier VIII. 27 millimeters side. That's kind of oof. And then I'm guessing this is a citadel right here. Wow, talk about exposed. 152mm citadel. Yeah, so that's wow. And the stern's 25 as well. Stern deck's 25. Mid deck's 30. Superstructure is of course 16. Our turrets aren't even armored that greatly either. 25 millimeters. Yeah. Alright. So let's take a look at her citadel. And oh, that's all her citadel. Oh my god. Well, I mean, that's Wow. Just looking at some other British cruisers here. I know they have pretty exposed citadels, but oh, did I have something else added on? Nope. That's wow. Man. Okay. I know, again, like, if you just look at the other ships, I know British cruisers have pretty big and exposed citadels, but that's a lot to just blow up there. Good lord. Okay, so this ship's gonna explode. Oh, joy. Alright, so she has 35,300 HP, which is pretty low for a Tier 8 cruiser. Again, let's just take a look at the Hampshire's got 37, the Edinburgh's got 36, and that's a light cruiser right there at the Edinburgh. The Hampshire, she's heavy cruiser 37. The Nottingham, which I believe is a heavy cruiser. I haven't looked at the guns yet. Has 35. 7% torpedo damage reduction as well. The guns, yep, they're 203, so she's a heavy cruiser. I figured so. Oh, I thought I remembered from the dev blog. So 9 203mm guns, 13-second reload time, and 180 time at 22.5 seconds. Maximum dispersion of 141 meters with a range of 15.7 kilometers. Her HE does a maximum damage of 2,850 and a 15% chance of causing a fire. 34 millimeters of HE pen, so that's good. You get over the 32 millimeter threshold, and an initial velocity of 814 meters a second. Her AP does 4,500 maximum damage and comes out the tubes at 814 meters a second as well. She does have 802 millimeters secondaries. Those reload in 4 seconds, 6.6 kilometer maximum range, 1,500 maximum damage, 6% fire chance, and 17 millimeters of HE pen. So they barely get through the superstructure of Tier 8 battleships. Great. Alright. Now, torpedoes, the big up on her chart. 4x4, 533, so you get 16 torps. That's not bad. 7.2 180 time, 96-second reload time, 8 kilometer range, 15,533 maximum damage, 62 knot torpedo speed, and they're detectable from 1.3 kilometers. So, okay, they make a big deal about the range, not the range, about the amount of torpedoes, and that you can single drop them in the ship's description, as we saw, and then the range is only 8 kilometers. Tier 8, I mean, you know, they were kind of hyping it up as a torpedo ship in the description, but, like, that's not really torpedo ship, range. So, yeah. I mean, I guess in a drive-by, yeah, or if something is, like, trying to run you down, sure. She just gets 2 charges of the airstrike. AA is 6x4 of the 12.7 millimeter guns. Then 4x4 of the 40 millimeter guns. And then the 8 102s count as dual purpose. And she has an amazing range of 4 kilometers. That is sarcasm, if you can't detect that. Max speed 34 knots, 700 meter turning circle radius, and a 9.4 second rate of shift time. That's actually pretty good. Base. Concealment, 11.7 kilometers base. So we'll see what we can get that down. You can't get that down actually pretty low with a build. Alright, what's in her box? Oh, no heal. Excuse me? Oh, wow. Okay, the ship's a floating citadel and it doesn't get a heal? Huh? Alright, so you get Hydro or DFAA. I'm leaving Hydro on there. You get a short burst smoke generator, not even exhaust smoke, that's active for 15 seconds, 40-second dispersion time, and you get a damage con, 5-second run time, 60-second cooldown time. I really thought this thing was going to get a heal, because most British ships do. Yeah, Edinburgh does. Hampshire doesn't, but that's Hampshire, though. Okay, that's weird. Things got literally a floating citadel and no heal. These guns better be awesome, or something. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and slap a commander build on here. I'll meet you guys right back here. Alright, so for the module build, I went with main armaments mod 1. This reduces our chance of the main guns being knocked out by 20%, gives us a 50% boost to the main battery survivability, and a 20% boost to the main battery repair time. That also applies to the torpedo tubes. I then went with engine room protection. This gives us a 20% boost to the chance of our engine becoming incapacitated, a 20% boost to the engine repair time, same with the steering gears. I then went with Aiming Systems Mod 1. This gets that main battery dispersion down by another 7%, and a 20% boost to the torpedo tube's traverse speed. I then went with Propulsion Mod 1, which gives us a 50% boost to our acceleration with our engine. And then I went with Concealment Systems Mod 1, which gives us a 10% boost to our concealment. The reason I went with Propulsion Mod 1 instead of the steering gears is because she already has a sub 10 second rudder shift time. So I figure if we can get to the ship accelerating fast enough too, then she might be pretty good at juking. I might come back and replace this with the steering gears mod just to get super fast rudder shift time. That might be the way to go. We shall see. Now for the commander build, I did slot Andrew on here. I went with Last Stand. That way if our modules do get knocked out, our steering gears and our rudder, they still work at a reduced rate. I then got Priority Target, so I know how many people are trying to explode me at one time. Then I would definitely come down and grab Survivability Expert, because that's another 450 HP per tier. And then I grabbed Concealment Expert for another 10% boost to our concealment. Came back around and grabbed Adrenaline Rush, so when we do lose half of our health, we get a nice reload boost. Then I grabbed Superintendent for another charge of that smoke and the hydro, because I have a feeling that smoke's going to be the thing that keeps us alive. Then I came back around and grabbed Demolition Expert for another percentage being added onto our fire chance. And then Heavy AP Shells for free damage with the AP. This is literally just 5% bonus to the amount of damage you do with your AP Shells. So since this does have 203s, I figure we're probably going to be catching a couple of cruisers, broadside, or even the upper armor belts of battleships, and free damage is free damage. So now, the ship has 38,900 HP points. HP points, hit points. The guns now do 18% fire chance with the flags and the skill, which is 9 guns. That's pretty good with a 13-second reload time. The AP shells now do a maximum damage of 4,725 per shell. So the 223 damage per shell. Then you got 9 shells going at the target, so that adds up pretty fast. And the concealment is now down to 9.5 kilometers, which is pretty darn stealthy, although of course CVs and subs do kind of make that a moot point. And that should be it. 36 knots with the speed flag is her top speed now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, head out into battle. I'll meet you guys there with a voiceover review of the Nottingham. Alright guys, voiceover Mountbatten here. And wow, if the Nottingham came out in 2019, I'd say she'd be a pretty solid Tier 8 cruiser. But it's not 2019, is it? It's 2023. And the Wood Warship of 2019 is not the Wood Warships of 2023. Back in 2019, you didn't have a huge amount of larger caliber guns at Tier 8, 9, and 10. You didn't have the current meta that we have today, and it wasn't uncommon for most of Tier 8 cruisers to actually not come with a hill. But today, most of the new Tier 8 cruisers that come out have a heel. Most of the premium Tier 8 cruisers that come out have a heel. It's not the uncommon thing to have a heel anymore. It's becoming the common thing. And the Nottingham is in pretty desperate need of that. Now, what they've done here is they've exchanged the survivability of the British heavy cruisers that have an improved heel. They've exchanged it for a smokescreen. Now, the smokescreen isn't a standard smokescreen. It's the short burst smokescreen that the British DDs have. So it's not a smokescreen that you can sit there and farm in like the light cruisers. It's a smokescreen that's meant to be used to disengage. Given the pretty good base maneuverability of the Nottingham, that's what I was playing this ship as. That's how I had most success with this ship. I would, slap W 4 times and forget about it. And just A and D to my heart's content. And I'll do some throttle juking here and there, but the point is, with the Nottingham, you have to stay on the move. because if you slip up and even slow down for a second or two, you're going to get clapped. That's this ship's thing. It's like a shark. You gotta stay on the move or you're going to die, because of the armor being pretty much non-existent. Again, like, it's got 25mm bow, 27mm side armor. At tier 8 plus, there's a ton of crap that can easily just overmatch that and simply not care about your armor. And in my case, I got double up tier to tier 10 a ton in the Nottingham. So trust me, I know very well. You're going to actually see that in the background footage here. So my experience with the Nottingham is that I would usually get going on a pretty good streak, and then just out of nowhere, I'm dead. Sometimes it was because I did think, oh good, everyone's dead. I could kind of slow down here for a second and take a little bit of a breather and let my guard down, and then, you know, someone would just come across the map, and then boop, there goes my Nottingham. And sometimes it was someone just, you know, they figured out my juking pattern and they just railed me, and then yeah, you're dead. Which kind of sucks, because the playstyle is one that I do enjoy. It's kind of like a weird mix between the run and gun boats and heavy cruiser. And there's other heavy cruisers that play like this, that, you know, you don't stop moving. And I do like that playstyle, but the Nottingham, just for what it is, doesn't really have the durability, in my opinion, for that. Because again, when your Citadel is pretty much the entire ship, you know, I got nicked on the bow and lost 10k HP. My propeller ate a shell and I lost 10k HP. God forbid, again, that the battleship caliber guns actually hit the midsection of your ship. You kind of just explode at that point. So yeah, it's not that great, in my opinion. It's almost there. Now, I get that they don't want to give the Nottingham exhaust smoke, not exhaust smoke, a short burst smoke, and the improved heal, because that would be too much. That would absolutely be too much. But given how crappy the thing's armor is, I think you could safely give it a standard heal, and it'd be fine. Because the standard heal would allow you to recover from those random, you know, 10k salvos that you eat because the battleship shell hit your anchor, and because of your weird armor, you know, you ate 10k damage. It would allow you to recover from that, but it wouldn't allow you to recover from the player that aimed correctly, guessed your maneuvering patterns, and then nuked you out of existence. So it wouldn't be able to recover you from, like, you know, 10 HP like we've all seen, like the Minotaur, the Neptune, and the Goliath, and the, you know, it wouldn't be able to completely rebuild your ship, but it would allow you to, you know, carry on and continue to, well, exist. In the case of the Nottingham right now, yeah, you eat a weird salvo and you're done, essentially. So the ship concealment does help out a lot. It does get you down to 9 kilometers and change. And what I was able to do with that too, besides doing the, you know, just running and dancing for my life, I was able to, in some cases, like, actually go with my DDs near the cap circle, play very close to the cap circle, and just bully the other DDs out of existence, because again, keeping your DDs alive helps you win the game, and the good concealment of the Nottingham allows you to do that. Plus you have the exhaust smoke as well, so not the exhaust smoke, the short burst smoke, so if you do get spotted and it's too hot, you just pop that, turn around and run if no one's got radar. So that was another thing I was able to do with the Nottingham as well. Now, of course, with the ship being a tier 8, when it's tier 8 and it's top tier, it's a lot more forgiving, and it's a lot more comfortable to play it there. But being double up to tier 10 games does absolutely suck. It's like, again, we're back in 2019, and you're grinding through a cruiser line that doesn't have a heal until tier 9, and you get clapped early game, and then you're done. Granted, with the continue on system that we have now, it's a lot easier to just say, dang it, and then just keep going into the next battle. And given that the ship is a premium ship, you will be, of course, having the premium income, so you can actually pretty much afford to do that and just go on. The guns themselves are pretty mediocre, and that's nothing too. Everything else about the ship is actually really mediocre. It gives up a lot to get this smoke screen that it really shouldn't have to give. Like, if the guns were more accurate, I could see them not giving it a heal, but they're not. They're really mediocre, and in some cases they struggle to hit DDs at like 6 kilometers, which is really weird for cruiser guns. And the HE isn't overly amazing. It's a pretty decent fire starter with like both flags and the demolition expert skill, but nothing crazy. The AP with the heavy AP skill is okay, but again, nothing crazy. It can citadel other cruisers that show it their side, yeah, but it's nothing crazy or anything like that. The torpedoes, yeah, it's got a lot of torpedoes for some reason. The ship that definitely doesn't want to get caught in torpedo range has a bunch of torpedoes. Yeah, I mean, if you're holding an island, they're great for that. If you're being chased down by a ship and they're like 9 kilometers away from you, just on the outside of your detection range, and they're actively pursuing you and you're kiting them, yeah, you can get some torps off on players like that. But it's just weird. Like, okay, if the torpedoes had more range, again, I could see that, but they don't. They have 8 kilometer range. If they had 10 kilometer range, okay, sure. But they don't. It's such a weird combination of traits on this ship. Like, okay, I can see you want me to play, the heavy cruiser running around the back like a chicken with its head cut off, blasting HE at everything, and AP when they show me my broadside. And they show me their broadside. But if someone does actually figure out how to, call my pattern, they can blast me out of existence. But then you give me 16 torpedoes within an 8 kilometer range. What? It's again, it's a weird combination of traits. So that's why I thought at first, okay, maybe let me go with the DDs and, stay nearish my torpedo range. And that kind of worked. But again, the best thing I had was the cruiser running around at mid-range, spamming HE at everything, and AP when they show you their broadside. So there's that. Speed, it's aight. It's not fast. It's not slow. It's aight. So yeah, A is abysmal. Your air detection range is 6.2 kilometers, and then your AA range is 4 kilometers. So you have worse AA range than the Italians. I thought you couldn't do that, but apparently so. So there's that. What else would I want to talk about? Oh, Hydra's very useful, of course, with submarines and everything now. And again, hunting down DDs, Hydra's very useful. You do have the little T-Rex arm ASW plane, so you don't have a huge range. I don't think it even goes out to 10 kilometers. Let me just double check while I got it up in port. It's out, yeah, 7 kilometers. So yeah, little T-Rex arm ASW, so that does suck. But, I mean, at least it's not as bad as the Massachusetts is. So you do have that going for you there. So, overall, just outright what they're asking for the ship right now, not worth the pixels at all. Because you either have to pay $100 in the armory, or you have to gamble in the random bundles right now for the Nottingham tokens to get the ship. I do think you can earn some of them for free. But just for what they're asking for right now, absolutely friggin' not. If it does get in the armory for like coal, which I doubt because there's not a lot of tier 8 coal ships, or if it goes in the premium shop for like the normal tier 8 price, even at that point, unless you just really like the playstyle, which there's several other cruisers that do this, like the German tech line, this is what they do. So like you get the Prince Eugen, which is an excellent tier 8 premium cruiser for the same price as this, and I'd take that all day, every day, because she has a heal, just to name one of the few benefits. But anyway, no, not at full cost, not worth the pixels at full cost. Not worth the pixels it's printed on at full cost. If you get it on sale, if you get it in a container, sure, it's okay if you can adapt to the playstyle. I think you'd be alright in it if, again, you enjoy that playstyle. But for full cost, nope, this is a pass, in my opinion. A numerical rating, I'd give it like a 5. It's your average tier 8 cruiser without a heal. You look at it, it blows up. It's got some neat things going on, but it feels like they didn't really want to commit to the gun side of it, and they slapped 16 torpedoes on it for some reason. Torpedoes are cool, but the range isn't really there. Again, if you're being chase down and you're kiting, they can kind of work. But again, if you're close enough to get your torpedoes on target, they're close enough to nuke you if they have larger caliber guns. So, yeah, pretty average in my mind, and 5 out of 10, that's average. So, yep, not worth the cost. Pass on it. If it goes on sale, you get it in a container. Yay. But yeah. The pros, well, it's got 9 203mm guns at Tier 8, so that's pretty cool. It's very highly maneuverable, I'll give it that. Speed's aight, not really a pro. It does have 16 torpedoes, and you get the burst smoke. Oh, and it has hydro. Hydro's a big pickup too, with submarines and all. The cons, this is going to be a long list. What's armor? What's HP? Ain't got any of that. Only have a 15 kilometer range with the main battery guns, because then you have to be put into tier 10 games a lot. That kind of sucks. The shells do actually feel really floaty at range. The accuracy of the guns is, for some reason, at least from my experiences, the accuracy isn't really there. AA is abysmal in both range and damage output. You can take DF AA, but when you have a 5 kilometer hydro, why would you take DF AA? And anything else? Oh yeah, the torpedo angles are incredibly awkward. You have to show a very uncomfortable amount of side to get your torpedoes off, unless they're kind of rear facing. Rear facing they're okay, but front facing you're gonna get nuked if you try to get your torpedoes off. So even though you have a bunch of torpedoes, the torpedo angles are awkward as hell. So guys, that's my 2 cents on the Nottingham. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you've picked the ship up in the event. Just share my thoughts. Share your thoughts with me in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.